Hello, everyone. This is Matthew 10, Simple Interest. Finally, we're at financing credit. So 5.1 simple interest and discount. Interest is the fee paid to use someone else's money. Meaning, if you borrow money, whatever I do with that money that I borrow, it's not my money, it's somebody else. So I have to pay interest for it. Okay? If you invest a company and get money into a company, like I'm a stockholder for Disney at this moment, Disney's using my money, so I'm expected to be paid for that. That's what simple interest. Well, that's what interest is. Now, there's different types of interest. This one is simple interest. Later on, we're going to go into compound interest as well. Interest on loans on a year or less is frequently called simple interest, which is paid only on the amount borrowed or invested and not on past interest. Usually, simple interest is used for loans with the terms of 1 year or less. And that's the magic one, okay? So, simple interest. The simple interest I on PV dollars at a rate of interest R per year for T years is I equals PVRT, where PV is present value, also known as principal, or the amount borrowed or deposited. Rate of interest is given as percent per year, expressed as a decimal, and time during which the money is accruing interest is calculated in years. Okay? So, let's see what we have. Example 1 says, personal loan. To furnish for a new apartment, Maggie Chan borrowed $4,000 at 3% interest from her parents for 9 months. How much interest will she pay? So I have interest, I have present value, I have rate, and I have time. Interest is what we're looking for because that's what the question states. My present value, or how much she borrowed, was $4,000 at a rate of 0.03, which is 3% is 0.03. Time says 9 months, but there are 12 months in a year, so it's 9 out of 12. So I have interest equals 4,000 times 0.03 times 9 over 12. Let's clear that. So it's 4,000 times 0.03 times 9 out of 12. Close it. And that comes to 90. So I equals $90. Notice how I'm using 2 decimal places. Why? Because our money system goes to 2 decimal places as well. Now, what does that $90 mean? This $90 means that Maggie Chan is expected to pay $90 for the 4,000 she borrowed. Therefore, she will end up paying $4,090. Okay. Corporate bonds. When an investor buys a corporate bond, the investor is essentially lending money to the corporation that issues the bond. Then the corporation promises to return the principal back to the investor at a specific maturity date and pay the investor a specific interest rate, usually semi-annually, twice a year. Bank of America issued 10-year bonds with a maturity date of 2022 and an annual interest rate of 5.7. The interest is paid semi-annually. Santiago buys $10,000 in bond. Determine the following. Okay? So again, how much interest? So we already know that we have interest. We have interest, we have present value, we have rate, and we have time. Because of the question, we know we're looking for interest. So this is what we're looking for. Present value would be 10,000 because that's how much Santiago is investing. Rate is 0.057 because that's the percentage. And time is 6 months, so it's 6 out of 12. So we have interest equals present value, rate, time. So I have interest equals 10,000 times my rate is 0.057 times 6 over 12. So we get that into the calculator. Times 0.057 times 1/2 equals $285. So my interest for 6 months is $285. Now it states, how much interest will he earn over the 10-year life of the bond? Well, this one has two options of answering it. So let's do both. Option A. We can go through the whole process. And the whole process would be, again, interest equals present value equals rate equals time equals. Interest, that's what I'm looking for. Present value is 10,000. Rate is 0.057. And time, this time would be 10 because it's 10 years. So have interest equals 10,000 times 0.057 times 10. So that means that interest is equal to $5,700. Option B for this problem would be a more logical way. We already know that for 6 months, the interest will be $285. And this is for 10 years. So that means this is, and each year has 12 months. That means that this happens twice a year. So that means that this becomes 20. So this will become interest equals what we already know for 6 months times 20, which equals, again, guess what? So when you take a deposit at simple interest R for T years, the future value or maturity value, that's an important word, is the sum of the deposit and the interest you earned. Okay, so this is what we have here. Recall that we have future value equals present value plus I. This is what this was telling us right here. The sum of the deposit and the interest. But we already know what interest is. We know that interest equals present value, rate, times time. So that means that this I can rewrite as future value equals present value plus present value, rate, times time. Well, we can factor this because it both has a present value, each part of the expression. So we have future value equals present value, 1 plus rate and time. And this is how we get to future value, which is what we have right there. So let's see how this can help us. Hi borrows $20,000. So immediately we're going to have present value because that's how much he's borrowing or she's borrowing, and we don't know. At a rate of 0.0525 to add room to his house. Well, he plans to repay the loan in, okay, time is 9 out of 12. With a bonus he expects to receive at that time. Find the maturity, so we must find future value. So this means that I have future value equals present value, 1 plus R and T. So I have future value equals 20,000 times 1 plus 0.0525 times 9 out of 12, like this. So let's get that into the calculator. So I have 0.0525 times 9 out of 12, close, plus 1 times 20,000. Let's put that in decimals because that's how we use our... So we have then that our future value for this problem would be 20,787 with 50 cents. Okay? So that was the first part of that problem. Now it's telling us find the amount of interest paid. Well, we know that interest is equal to present value. Sorry, not like that. Sorry, my bad. So future value equals present value plus the interest, correct? Well, I can manipulate this to solve for interest, which is what we're looking for. So I can subtract present value to both sides. So this becomes interest equals future value minus present value. And guess what? We already have that information. So therefore 20,787 with 50 cents, which is my future value, minus 20,000, which is my present value, would be 787 with 50 cents. So this is the interest for this problem. Okay. So let's add another little sheet of paper because I'm running out of space. And this states a loan of 11,280. So a loan, that means we have, this is B, example 3. So I have present value, future value, rate, and time. So for that one, I have 11,280 as my present value. Future value, that's what we're looking for. I believe a rate of 9%. Yes, 0.09. And it was for 85 days. So how many days are in a year? 365. So this becomes 85 over 365. So future value equals present value, which is 11,280 1 plus 0.09 times 85 over 365. Let's get that into the calculator. 0.09 times 85 over 365 plus 1 times 11,280. And let's get that into decimals. This becomes that my future value equals 11,516 with 42 cents. Now we need to find the interest, and we know that interest is future value minus present value. So I have 11,516 with 42 cents minus 11,280. Minus 11,280. Math, decimal. So we have that our interest is equal to 236 with 42 cents. So this one has Sally borrows $15,000. Okay. So Sally borrows. So I have future value, present value, and that's 15,000. And is required to pay, so that's my future value at a rate of, doesn't say, time 4 months, so it's 4 out of 12. Let's see if we have this right. Sally borrows 15,000, which is present value, and is required to pay 15,315, which is my future value. That's how much she has to pay. And time, we have that's 4 months, so it's 4 out of 12. What is the simple interest rate? So I'm listening for rates. So I have 15,315 is equal to 15,000. 1 plus 4 out of 12 times R. So I'm going to divide by 15,000 to both sides. So I have 15,315 divided by 15,000. I'm going to do that math decimal again. So we're at 1.021 is equal to 1 plus 4 out of 12 times r. So minus 1 to both sides. So now I have 1.021, sorry, not that at all. 0.021 is equal to 4 out of 12 times r. So after that, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. What I do to one side, I must also do to the other. So this cancels with this. So I have that r is equal to 12 over 4 times 0.021. So 12 over 4 times 0.021. So therefore I have 0.063. Therefore my rate is at 6.3%. So this is how you can solve for present value using the future value. But I don't really use it. I like to maintain myself with the form without those extra formulas. Once formula is hard enough to remember than to be adding more into it. So let's continue using the same. We're still going to continue using future. Future value equals present value, 1 plus rate times time. So let's see what information are they providing us. So I have future value, present value, rate, time. So it says find the present value of, so that means I'm looking for present value, $32,000. So that's going to be future value at a rate 0.09. Time is 4 out of 12. So I have 32,000 equals present value, which what I'm looking for, 1 plus 0.09 times 4 out of 12, like so. So I have 0.09 times 4 over 12, close, plus 1. So now I have that 32,000 equals 1.03 times present value divided by 1.03 to both sides. So I have that present value equals 32,000 divided by my present value. No. So I have 31,067.96. I have future value, I have present value, I have rate, I have time. So this 5,000, is it the future value? Is it the present value? Well, in fact, this is future value. I'm looking for present value with what it says. Suppose Linda wants to pay the money today. So right now, and that Madison can invest it in an annual rate of 5%, 0.05. What would be Madison will be willing to accept to settle the debt? So here we go. We have 10 months. So it's 10 out of 12. So I have, again, the formula is future value equals present value, 1 plus rate and time. So I have 5,000 equals PV, 1 plus 0.05 times 10 out of 12. So 1 plus 0.05 times 10 out of 12. So I have 5,000 equals 1.041667 times present value. So I'm going to divide now by all of that horrible number. 4,16667. So we have that. That means that present value equals 5,000 divided by that. So we get $4,800. as my present value. We have this problem that states Larry Parks owes $6,500 to Virginia Donovan Donovan. The loan is payable in 1 year at 6% interest. Virginia needs cash to pay medical bills, so 4 months before the loan is due, she sells the loan to the bank. If the bank wants a return of 9%, its investment, how much should it pay Virginia for the note? Okay, so this is 2 steps. This requires 2 steps, so let's make sure we have So this is 2 steps. Step 1. Find future value of loan. So we have future value, present value, rate, and time. Time is a 1 for 1 year. Rate is 0.06. Present value is 6,500. And this is what I'm looking for, future value. So I have future value equals 6,500, 1 plus 0.06 times 1. So I have 6,500 times 1.06. So that's 6,500 times 1.06, which is, future value is $68 to $90. Now, the second part, as I said, this is 2 steps. Now I need to find the present value at 9% for the bank. So, step 2, find present value at 9% that the bank wants. So I'm going to use future value, which we know that is $68.90. Present value, that's what I'm looking for. My rate's going to be 0.09, and time's going to be 4 out of 12. Why 4 out of 12? Because that's when Madison sold the loan, the note. In 10 months, suppose that she wants today, can reverse the annual rate. What am I? Settle the debt. No, here. She sells the note to the bank, 4 months. There it is. Okay. So I have 68 to 90 equals present value, 1 plus 0.09 times 4 out of 12. So 0.09 times 4 out of 12, close it, plus 1. So I have 68 to 90 equals 1.03 times present value, divide by 1.03 to both sides. So I have present value equals 68.90 divided by my previous answer. Decimals, because that's how our money system works. So this is 66.89 with 32 cents. So what does all this means? It means that the bank will pay $6,689 with 32 cents, and 4 month later, the note will be worth $68.80. So, examples shown before dealt with loans in which money is borrowed and simple interest is charged. This means that both principal and the interest are paid at the end of the loan. With corporate bonds, which is a loan to a corporation, interest is paid during the life of the bond and the principal is paid back. In both cases, the borrower receives the principal, borrowed money, but pays back the principal plus interest. Simple discount loan, the interest is deducted in advance from the amount And the balance, principal minus interest, is given to borrowers. The full value of the loan must be paid back at maturity. The borrower receives the principal less than the interest balance, but pays back the principal, meaning they're gonna get their money. No, they're not gonna get their full money back at the beginning. They will get only the interest, and then the borrower will have to pay the rest. This can be used for T-bills. So we have on this one interest. So in this one it says an investor bought for 6 months $10,000 Treasury T-bill that's sold at a discount at 0.39%. What is the amount of the discount? What is the price of the T-bill? Okay, so I have interest equals present value, rate times time, because we're only looking for interest. So it means that I'm interest, present value, rate, and time. Interest for this one, we have no idea. That's what we're looking for. My present value, or how much was invested, is $10,000 at a rate of 0.0039 for a time of 6 months. So it's 6 over 12. So I have interest equals 10,000 0.0039 times 6 out of 12. So 10,000 times 0.0039 times 6 out of 12. So that means that my interest is 19.5. And it says, what is the price of the T-bill? Okay. So that, okay. So it says that the amount of the discount is $19.50. Okay. Find the actual interest rate paid by the Treasury in example 8. Okay, so now we know interest equals present value, rate, and time. Or we already know since the previous, we know that interest was 19.50. We had our previous value, which was 99.80.50, because that was the discount, remember? We have a rate, which is what we're looking for, and time is 6 out of 12. So this is 619.50 equals 9980.5 times R times 6 out of 12. So I have 9980.5 times 0.5 equals. So I have 1950 4990.25 times R. 490. So rate is equal to 19.5 divided by 490.25. That means that my rate was at 0.39%, which we already knew. And this, I believe, concludes this section.